welcome to Yoga with India. I'm India, and today I'm taking you through a yoga sequence using a yoga block. Now, there are many misconceptions when it comes to using a block in yoga. I know that when I started practicing and a teacher offered me a block for the first time, I saw it as a sign of weakness, like I wasn't doing it right. Well, I couldn't have been more wrong. A yoga block is in fact your best friend on the mat. It's there to aid your practice, to support you, to advance your practice and to keep you safe. So it's always a great idea to have one at hand. Now I'm just going to give a quick shout out to the block that I'm using right now. It's made by a company called Downward Duck, and it is in fact made using 21 unwanted flip-flops found in Kenya that would have otherwise ended up in our oceans or in landfill. So if you are looking to get a block, then check these guys out. If you want to do this practice though, and you haven't got a block, no worries, you can just use a book for now. All right, let's get started. So we're going to begin in a seated posture. And we're going to use the block to aid our alignment. So we're going to pop the block underneath our seat, underneath our glutes. And we want to do that because we want our knees to be lower than our hips. Now I'm going to take a cross-leg position, but if that's not for you, then no worries, just extend the legs out in front of you. Okay, so just take a moment to feel comfortable on the block, move it around to a place that suits you, and then take the backs of the hands to the knees and the palms up to the sky. We're just going to begin by releasing a bit of tension and drawing the shoulders up towards the ears and down. So let's inhale, shoulders come up to the ears. Exhale, draw them down away from the ears. Good. And again, shoulders up to the ears. Inhale. And exhale. Let them drop all the way down. And one more time. Inhale, shoulders coming up to the ears. And exhale, allow them to soften. Good. And then rise up nice and tall out of your seat. Now as you sit on your block, you might naturally feel like you're growing taller. And we want to really engage our core here. So draw our core, our pelvic floor all the way up. Draw our belly button through to spine. Feel that spine grow nice and tall. Feel it connect to the back of the neck. And then imagine you've got a piece of string at the top of your head and it's just pulling you a little bit higher. Good, so you feel that length through the back of the spine. Nice. All right, we're going to begin by inhaling. Hands coming all the way up, palms meet. Clasping the hands together and then pressing those hands away from you. Good. Take an inhale and then look up to the sky. Exhale. Nice. Stretch through the front of the neck there. And then drawing the chin down to chest. Good. Taking that gaze back up to the centre. Little stretch over to the right now. We want to keep our arms in line with our ears, so we're not crouching over. Good. And then coming back up to the centre, over to the left, just watching that our bottom doesn't want to pick up from the block. Nice. And then back to the centre. Releasing the arms and then rotating the wrists all the way down by your side. Good. All right, releasing the block now from underneath your seat, just popping it to your side and then tipping forward onto all fours. So you want to come into a box. Our hands are going to be underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. Okay, so we're going to be using the block now to support us through our chaturanga. Now chaturanga is something that we use all the time when we're doing a sun salutation or taking a vinyasa. And it's where we bend our elbows and we allow our chest to meet the floor and then we push up into a cobra. Now a block can be used to stop our chest collapsing too far down. And it's really great for strengthening the arms. So we place our block on the thinner side, right underneath our chest. We're going to take this from our knees, but you can always do this as well from downward facing dog. So hands are right underneath the shoulders, and we bend our elbows back, allowing our chest to drop down and meet our block. When we feel our block, we then lengthen our chest up, keep our elbows back, press our hips down, and find ourselves in our cobra. Nice. And then sink back into a child's pose. Good. Lengthening through the arms. All right, going again. Coming back up onto all fours. Elbows go back. We slowly drop the chest down. Find the block. Good. Press the hips down. Lift the chest. Keep those shoulders back. Cobra. Feel that stretch through the abs. And then coming back into child's pose. Nice. One more time. Slowly coming back up into our box. Engage that core. Elbows go back. They really want to stick to the side of the body as much as possible. Lower the chest. Push through. Cobra. Lovely. And this time when you sink back into your child's pose, take the block with you and place the block underneath your forehead. So you want to press the brow line down on the block, reaching away with the hands. And by doing this, you really do release the nervous system. So this is great if you've got a worrying mind. You just need to calm. Good. Couple of breaths here. Nice. All right, slowly recovering back into your box. Just pop your block to the side for now. We're now going to come into our downward facing dog. So tuck the toes under and send the tailbone up into downward facing dog. And this always feels a little bit tight if it's the first one that you're doing for the day. So just have a little dance here, pedaling the feet out underneath you. Having a little wiggle. Good. Okay, and then grounding the feet down, the heels down into the mat, spreading the fingers nice and wide, drawing the chest through to the legs, taking that tailbone nice and high. All right, we're going to begin now by lifting the left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. So really stretching it nice and high, getting an extra stretch through the back of the leg there. And then bending the knee and taking it all the way through so the foot comes in between the hands. Nice. Okay, so we're in our runner's lunge now. We're now going to take the block and place it to the inside of the foot. Turning the back foot out now, we're going to plant that foot down into the mat. We're now going to take the right arm all the way back and come up into our warrior two. So our front leg remains bent. Good. Feeling really strong here. Arms at the same level as our shoulders. Okay, gently straightening that front leg. We're coming into our Trikonasana now, our triangle pose. So we're going to reach forward. We're then going to tip the body down. And as we tip down, our hand's going to meet our block. We're then going to take our arm up to the sky, level with our shoulder, and look up at that top hand. Now, if you need to, you can always place your hand on your hip, on your waist, if that feels better for you. But if you have got your hand up to the sky, then really do reach for the stars here. Good. Deep breaths. Energy through the hand. So we want to imagine we're in between two planes of glass, so we can't fall forward or back. Nice. One more breath here. And then slowly recovering back up into warrior two, bending that front knee. Good. And then back arm comes all the way overhead, coming back down into your runner's lunge. Placing the block on the other side of the foot now. Taking the foot back into plank. Drop the knees down and come into a child's pose. If you want to, you can take the block once again underneath your head and taking a moment here. Good. All right, slowly coming all the way back up. Taking the block now to the left side. All right, so we're finding ourselves in our box position, tucking our toes under and back up into downward facing dog. So just find that pose, drawing the heels down, spreading the fingers out, drawing the chest towards the legs. Okay, this time the right leg's going to come up, three-legged dog. Let's take it nice and high. And then bend the knee, thread that foot through the middle of the hands in your runner's lunge. Good. So moving that block next to the foot, turning the back foot out, and this time the left arm's going to come all the way over and back into your warrior two. So bending that front knee, keeping it in a line with the big toe, shoulders and arms are level. Okay, now straightening that front leg, finding ourselves in our Trikonasana. So we're going to reach forward, slowly tip down, find that block that's next to our foot. Look up to the sky, reach up with our hand. Nice. Feel that stretch through the back of the legs. Keep breathing, keeping our shoulders back so we don't crouch forward. Good. Really sending energy up through the thighs. One more breath here. And then slowly recovering, coming back into your warrior two. Bend that front knee. Good. And this time, instead of coming down into our lunge, we're actually just going to bring the arm overhead and just step forward to the top of our mat. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle back so you can see me better. We're now going to come in to our Utkatasana, our seated posture. So we're going to place our block in between our legs, so in between our knees and our thighs. So find a place that suits you. You want your feet to be in the same alignment as your knees in this pose. So having the block in between your legs really helps that. We're naturally going to have to bend our knees to keep our block there. But what we want to do is take our arms by our side, draw our shoulders down, and then slowly sink a little bit further in our seat. Draw our arms up towards our ears. Now what we want to watch is that our back doesn't collapse in. We want to keep that spine nice and straight. So we want to just slowly tuck our tailbone under here. Good. Feel that burn. Good. This one is quite an intense pose. Maybe see if you can sit down a little bit further. But you should really notice the support from the block here. Stops the knees from knocking in. Engages the thighs, the glutes, the quads a little bit more. Good. Energy through the arms. One more breath here. Nice. And then slowly recovering. Releasing. Well done. All right. Turning around so you can take a nice wide stance on your mat. So really do take your feet nice and wide. And we're going to slightly pigeon toe our feet in. We're going to place our block just in front of us there. And then take our hands to our knees. Our knees? Take our hands to our hips. All right, take your elbows back now, as far back as you can. Good. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, slowly fold forward. I'm going to keep the legs straight if we can, keep the back nice and straight too. When you find a point where you can't fold forward anymore without collapsing in the back, we're going to drop our hands down to the floor. Now we're going to see if we can lower our body down so our head meets our block. Now I can already tell that my head isn't going to meet my block now, so I'm going to turn my block the opposite way to make it a little bit taller. And then see if I can lower down a little bit further and just feel that support on the top of my head with my block. Good. If this one is really intense for you, then do bend your knees slightly. Okay, really allowing the weight of the head to help you fall further forward. Good. Keep the breath moving. Really feeling this through the backs of the legs. Nice. One more breath here. And then gently recovering all the way back up. All right, we just want to keep our hands there. And now just slowly walk the feet in. Bend the knees. And then we're going to come down and lie on our backs. So hopefully that was smooth for you. Okay, so we're going to lie down on our backs now. And we're going to place our block in between our legs. So our feet are planted down on the floor, our knees are high. The block's going to come in between our legs, in between our knees. And we're going to come into our hip raisers now. So what the block does is it stops our knees from knocking in, which is really bad for our knees. It's really bad for alignment, but also the block being here will help engage those glutes even more. Okay, so hands are right by our side, palms down. We're going to slowly roll the hips up to the sky. So peeling those hips off the mat, taking those hips nice and high, planting those shoulders down into the mat. Really feel the engagement through the glutes here. And then gently lowering the spine back down, working through every vertebrae. Good. One more. All right, and again, we're going all the way up, slowly peeling those hips off the mat. Good. And then gently coming all the way back down again. Nice. Good. One more time, gently peeling those hips off the mat, sending the hips nice and high, engaging the glutes. And then gently coming all the way back down. Good job. All right, taking that block and just popping it now underneath your tailbone. So just popping it underneath the tailbone. And we're now going to come into a variation on our shoulder stand. So if you don't like doing a shoulder stand, or if it's just not what you fancy doing, then popping a block underneath your hips can be a really great alternative, as it gives the same effect of releasing the feet up towards the sky without having to go too intense and lifting the hips up. So we're just going to slowly lift the knees up and then slowly bring the feet up above our hips. And as you can see, you still get that release from the feet, taking the pressure of the feet, and you still get to feel that circulation pumping around your body in the opposite direction, which is all the benefits that we get from a full shoulder stand. Good. Just taking a few moments here. Really nice to feel the release of the feet. We're on them all day, every day. So it's good to give them a little break every now and again. Nice. Okay, a little bit of energy through those legs maybe. And then gently bending the knees. Slowly lowering the feet down to the mat. And then releasing the block. Okay, we're going to come into one of my favourite poses now, Supta Baddha Konasana, using the block. So this time we want to take the block and place it underneath our upper back. Good, so just take a moment to sort of wiggle the block and feel it where it feels comfortable. And then we're going to lower the head down to the mat and bring the soles of our feet together and allow our knees to open out to the side. So you can place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. And just notice with the block under the back how the shoulders slowly drop down further towards the mat. So this is a really restorative pose. It's great to feel that heart, that chest lead. It's a really liberating feeling. And then obviously you also get a hip opener here, feeling or imagining you've got two weights on your knees and it's allowing your hips to open even more so. Try and release through the glutes. Good. Slowly, slowly, just allowing that breath to soften. Nice. Couple more breaths here. Really trying to softening the glutes, as it will really help the knees open here. And feeling the drop in the shoulders. Good. Okay, one more breath here. And then slowly drawing the knees up. Lengthening the legs away from you. And then just lifting the block. And now just taking it behind your head. So we're coming into our Shavasana, relaxation pose. Good, so you can just gently close your eyes here if you'd like. And just taking a moment of stillness, lying down on the mat. Palms can face up to the sky as a sign of surrendering after your practice. Feel the breath soften even more so. Feel the body release and relax. Good. Okay, a couple more breaths here. You can stay here for a little longer if you'd like to, or following me by wiggling the fingers and the toes. And then taking the arms overhead, full body stretch. Good. And then gently just coming to your side and pushing the hand up, finding yourself back in that seated position you took at the beginning. Once again, placing the block underneath your seat. Just feeling the extra bit of attention to the alignment as you do so. Palms down on the knees, grounding yourself at the end of this sequence. Good. All right, inhale, hands coming all the way up, palms meet. Exhale, down to heart center. Inhale, hands coming all the way up, palms meet. Exhale, down to heart center. One more time. Inhale, hands coming all the way up. Exhale, down to heart center. Bowing your head to your heart and your heart to the ground. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today, and do check out Downward Ducks blocks, and please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another video. Alright, thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.